For most people that served in the SADF, it all started when they were called up for national service. This normally happened the year after you had finished school, yet the process actually started around 2 years earlier with an event that went unnoticed and unremembered. The National Service Questionnaire was a document distributed to all 16-year-old white males via all white schools in South Africa. The document had to be completed and returned to the SADF, and it was an offence not to do so. In the words of the accompanying DD 1806E, important information for completing your questionnaire, it said, by completing the questionnaire properly, you are helping us to place you where you fit in best. Quite apart from the reality that the questionnaire apparently had showed that you were helping the SADF to place you where you would definitely not fit in, by completing this questionnaire, you were submitting yourself and giving your passive okay to state control of your very life that would influence your opinions on a range of topics, from personal relationships through your understanding or tolerance of other opinions to politics. When registering, you could list your first, second and third choice. If you listed the army as your first choice, you had a better than even chance of getting your wish. This was not always the case though. Chris was 18 when he did his national service in 1976, and he recalls what happened to him. When I was 16, I had to register for national service. On the form, I was asked to state in which arm of the SADF I preferred to serve. Look, I'm a Durban boy, and I grew up at the coast. All of my friends indicated that they wanted to serve in the Navy. Not me, no ways. I have this pathological fear of the water. I don't know what it is, but I'm terrified of the sea. As a boy, I'd go to the beach and tan, but I'd never go in the water. I also have another problem. I get seasick just looking at the ocean. When I was in Standard 8, my brother-in-law decided to take me deep-sea fishing. We went out on a fairly large boat that took about 30 people. The sea wasn't that rough, but I was hanging over the side and puking my lungs out before we even left the harbour. So there was no ways I wanted to go to the Navy for my national service. I put down Army as my first choice. The Air Force was my second choice, and I didn't even fill in the third choice. And none of my friends who put down Navy as their first choice came right. All of them were called up for the Army. Where was I sent to? You guessed it right, the Navy. My call-up papers said that I had to report to SAS Saldanha for my basics. After my basic and individual training, I went on a junior leadership course and was then posted to SAS Scorpion at Salisbury Island in Durban. At least I was close to home, but believe me, I would rather have been on the border. I was assigned to harbour protection and was a crew member on a Namakura patrol launch. We would often go offshore to carry out inspections of fishing trawlers and other small craft. I spent a good deal of time on the water and never did manage to get over my fear or my seasickness. If someone had asked me what I did during my national service, I can honestly say that I spent most of it hanging over the side of a Namakura feeding the fishes. To their credit, the SADF did try and place a person at a basic training unit that was within travelling distance of recruit's hometown, although this was not always the case, as Gert remembers. I was from Alberton, just outside of Johannesburg. I was hoping to be called up to Voortrekker in Pretoria. At least then I was only about an hour away from home. Where did I get sent to? The bosses called me up to Toussaint in Walvis Bay. When we started to receive weekend passes, what was I supposed to do? There was no ways that I could go home for a weekend. Alberton was a 2-day car trip away. The nearest decent place to go was Swakopmund, but it cost money because you'd have to stay in a guest house. Most of my weekend passes I spent wandering around Walvis Bay or just sitting in camp. If you've ever been to Walvis Bay, you'll know that it's not exactly the entertainment capital of the world. The first time I went home was when I got my 7-day pass. Look, I know a few guys who got cool postings close to home, but I also know plenty of guys who are posted to the opposite end of the country. How did youngsters feel when they received their call-up papers? Nearly everyone we spoke to had a different opinion. Some were excited, some were scared, some were even resentful. Yet many more than cared to admit it actually looked forward to their military training. Kim was 18 when he was called up, and he admits that he was rather looking forward to the adventure. My call-up paper said I was going to Force I, and I would serve in the infantry. I was chuffed because I wanted to go to the border and fight in the war. I was going to win a few medals and come home a big hero. Hey, I was only a kid, and this was a big adventure. I must admit though that by the end of my 2 years my outlook had changed. I can't say that I hated my national service, but I sure as hell didn't enjoy it. In the next episode on call-ups, we'll look at some other stories. Thanks for watching, and please remember to leave a comment and share this video. And above all, please remember to subscribe to our channel. Many thanks.